Greetings everyone and welcome to another episode of Road to be Proficient in Python, and on today's challenge we have nested lists. So give me the name and grades for a student in a class of n students, store them in a nested list and print the names of any student or students having the second lowest grade. So we might need to print multiple students, so maybe this is one case. So we have T, Beta, Alpha. This is the names of students and those are the values of their grades. So as you can see, a nested list is actually a list which stores lists. That's simple. Like here you can see we have lists of size of 2. So we have Alpha, Beta here because they have the same variable, and because we need to print them alphabetically, we print Alpha, Beta. In the input format, we will read the first line contains the number of the students, and the second one is the sequence of student and score, student score, student score, so to n. We have a constraint for the n. It can be only 5 students or 2. Actually, the interval is from 2 to 5. We print the names of student, of the second, if multiple, alphabetical. We print them alphabetically in each line. So let's get started. Here is a weird loop, but I will make it much simpler for you. Like declare the number of the students. Here we will declare we'll declare the nested list. Let's say extra variables, because I will include many of them. So first of all, we need to n, which will be input, int input, sorry. This will read the first line of the sample. So if you can see the 5, it's the number of the student, so n, which is the number of the student, it's the first line, so we convert it into int, because in the input we'll get the first line as a string. So this thing here is actually this one. Oh, sorry, this one. And this symbol here is just say like I don't care about how you name the index. I will not use it. So let's make here a list, a nested list. Nested list. It's a list. Oh, sorry. We will need the minimum, which will be 100, and the second minute will be 102. Minimum. Yes, now we are correct. So here we read the tuple, and here we will say update the minimum, and here update the second minimum, and here create or add the tuple to the list. So here we will say if we want the minimum, if it's bigger than the score, we need to update first the second, which will be the mean, and the minimum, minimum, and the minimum will be the score. Here we need to update the second, and in this case we do that because this doesn't cover all the cases, because let's assume we have 3, 6 and 5, 5. Here the second minimum with only this if will be 3, and that's because when we update the minimum, we update the second minimum. But if the second minimum is 5, because the minimum of the global minimum is bigger than this one, it will not update it, and it will not update the minimum, and then that applies that we will not update the second minimum. So here we need an if that will say if the score is bigger than second minimum and score is bigger than minimum, then we need the second minimum to be score. And what we do here is we say, like, if the score, let's say it's 5 here, it's bigger than second minimum, which means it's less than second minimum, which means, like, oh, I did the maximum. Yeah. So we need to flip. Let's say it's 1 here, let's say it's 2 here, and 3. So here the second minimum will be 3. Let's say we are in 2 right now, and what we will do is, like, if the current score is less than second minimum, which is 3 at the current, and the score is bigger than the minimum, which is bigger than 1, then we need the second minimum to be the current score. So here we will say nested list append a list of the name and the score. And now we need to print our students, because we have the list, we have the second minimum, we have the second minimum. So print the second graders, and I will create a list here just for the sake of, for the sort function, it will be easier. The second create a list for the second minimum, last graders. I don't know if it's a thing, but before index actually for name score in nested list, and I forgot to make my second in students list if the score is equal to the second minimum, then we need to second min student append the name, the name. So now we will sort the list, the second min student sort, and here we will bring for name in second min student in the names print the name, and we here, I believe, let's say here, right here, we need to also include our constraints, which will be, and that the n is greater or equal to 2 and n less equal than 5. And we'll grab all this thing here, move it inside this if, and voila. And if we run the code, we have a wrong answer. Oh, we need to sort it the other way. Let's sort. Yep. So very hurry. I think we are good, and if we submit the code, it passes all the cases. That was it. I hope you liked the challenge. If you do like it, please hit the like button, and see you in the next one.